Welcome to the Deep Dive. You send us your sources, we extract the knowledge you need fast.
That's right.
Today we're digging into a YouTube conversation between Khloe Kardashian and Mel Robbins. It's all about mindset shifts you can actually use for personal growth.
Yeah, they cover quite a bit. Decisions, control, dealing with comparison, even trust after betrayal. It's packed.
Okay, so our mission is to pull out the real actionable wisdom here. Let's jump in.
Sounds good. What's interesting is how it all kind of orbits this central question, right? How do we get more control over our inner world, our reactions?
Exactly. Even though they talk about big life changes and just, daily struggles.
Totally.
And it really kicks off with this huge idea from Mel Robbins. You are one decision away from a different life.
Mm-hmm. Powerful stuff. But it
Yeah.
sounds simple, maybe too simple.
Right. Why is that so hard for us to actually do? They get into how we're often toughest on the people closest to us and that feeling of being trapped. Robbins says, you can always leave any relationship. You're not stuck.
Yeah, but we tell ourselves we are, don't we? That feeling, that narrative of being stuck, it often comes from looking outward.
Looking outward. How so?
Well, Robbins talks about her own experience hitting her 40s, deep in debt, divorce looming, feeling like she literally couldn't get out of bed, so much external pressure.
Why, yeah.
But the thing that actually got her moving wasn't some external fix. It was her kids, an internal motivator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her kids became her why.
Exactly. Which leads to this really key point. You don't change until you're ready to change. It has to come from inside.
Yeah, Khloe really connected with that, didn't she? Talking about her ex-husband's addiction and that feeling of, you can't want it more than I do.
Yeah.
You just can't force someone else's readiness.
No, you can't. It taps into that fundamental human need we all have to feel like we're in control of something, preferably our own lives.
Right. But the trap is spending all our energy trying to control other people or situations.
Precisely. Robbins puts it something like, as long as you're focused on everybody else, you'll never actually see the truth, which is you have everything in you to pick yourself up.
So it's about shifting that focus inward. But what if you're so lost you don't even know what you want anymore?
Yeah, that's a real feeling. Robbins has this practical tip. Figure out what you don't want.
Okay, like reverse engineer it.
Kind of. For her, facing bankruptcy, the marriage ending, the first clear thought wasn't some grand vision. It was just, I don't want this.
Got it. So you start by defining the negative space, and then you can maybe move towards the opposite.
Exactly. And that feeling is pretty universal, isn't it? Her big shift came at 41 after what she saw as like a decade of failures in her 30s.
Yeah, it shows it's never too late. That one decision really can change your path whenever you make it. I think a lot of listeners might relate to feeling defined by past stuff-ups.
Absolutely. So, okay, we get the power of making a decision. But how do you actually act on it, especially when you feel awful, unmotivated?
Yes. This is where they brought in the 5-second rule, which sounds almost too simple, but the way they explain it.
It's about building a skill, isn't it? The skill of just doing the small thing you need to do, even if every part of you is screaming no.
Yeah. And the story behind it is great. Just a random Tuesday morning, Robbins decides she's going to count backwards 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and launch herself out of bed.
And it worked. The psychology behind it is actually pretty cool. That counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it interrupts the hesitation loop, the negative thoughts that keep you stuck.
Right. It kind of shifts gears in your brain, engages the thinking part, the prefrontal cortex.
Exactly. It helps you override those more automatic, fear-based reactions. It's a little burst of activation energy.
And you can use it for anything, really.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ask for help. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for that walk.
Or pick up a book instead of scrolling. It's about building that muscle, like you said.
Builder.
Moving towards your values, self-care, whatever it is. In those moments, you feel overwhelmed or full of doubt.
Which links directly to something else they stressed,
Yeah.
how you start your day. It has a huge impact.
Oh, definitely. Especially the phone thing. Robbins is really strong on not checking your phone first thing.
Yeah, she said, you are actually allowing the entire internet to come into your bedroom and into your mind. That really paints a picture.
It does. Her advice is simple. Just put the phone in another room overnight. Create that buffer.
Because the issue might not be you, fundamentally. It might be how much power you're giving away to external stuff right from the get-go.
Exactly. And it's not just external things trying to grab our attention. Our own brains can work against us sometimes.
How do you mean?
Well, Robbins puts it very simply. Our brains are wired to do what's easy.
The path of least resistance.
Totally. We choose comfort over effort. We dodge difficult conversations. We, tiptoe around other people's moods to avoid hassle.
Guilty as charged.
Right.
Right.
We all do it. But just knowing that's our default setting can help. It means you don't have to beat yourself up quite so much when you feel that pull towards easy.
Okay, that makes sense. Less self-blame. But you still need to push against it, right? Awareness isn't action.
Exactly. You still have to do the work. Which brings us neatly to comparison. We all do it.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly. But the problem isn't the comparing itself. It's how we use it to, as Robbins says, torture ourselves.
So what's the alternative? This is where the let them theory comes in.
Yes. It's a two-step mental move, basically. Step one, when someone's getting under your skin, their actions, their words, whatever, you just mentally tell yourself, let them.
Okay, let them. Like, just let them be.
Sort of. And then step two is reminding yourself what you actually control, which is only 3 things, really.
Right. What I think, what I do or don't do, and how I respond emotionally.
That's it. So let them is about strategically detaching, rising above it a bit.
And recognizing your energy is valuable. Don't waste it on stuff you can't influence.
Precisely. Why pour energy into controlling the uncontrollable? It applies so well to social media, doesn't it? That comparison spiral.
Oh, definitely. And that idea of the graveyard of your dreams.
Yeah.
All those things you didn't post or pursue because you were worried what they would think.
Yeah. Using let them there is powerful. And also just accepting that sometimes people will be disappointed in your choices. And that's okay.
Letting people be disappointed, that feels liberating somehow.
It really is. They touch on emotional immaturity too, and how sometimes estrangement happens because people just can't have the hard conversations.
Which maybe ties into that other perspective shift Robbins offered, the slightly cheeky one.
Viewing most adults as 8-year-olds in big bodies.
Yeah. It sounds funny, but it kind of helps take the sting out of things, doesn't it? Reduces the urge to take everything so personally.
It creates a bit of distance, yeah. And again, it comes back to that core message. You can always leave. You're not stuck. Even when it feels like you are, there's almost always a choice and action you can take.
That perspective can even change how we see our parents, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Moving away from seeing them as these all-powerful superheroes or villains and just recognizing their humanity. Like, this is your parents' first time being a human being, too.
Yeah, they have their own stuff, their own limitations. It fosters more empathy, maybe.
Definitely. And it shifts the focus. Again, stop trying to change them. The focus on managing your stuff, your reactions, your choices.
Because even within one family, every kid has a different experience, interacts with the parents at different life stages.
Exactly. Your power is in your own response. And sometimes, looking back, you can find meaning in the hard stuff. Khloe mentioned getting clarity, seeing how past difficulties kind of shaped her in useful ways.
Right. Reframing challenges not just as pain, but as part of your growth.
And Khloe was quite open about getting through tough times, like very public breakups.
Yeah, she talked about needing to shut out the noise, focus on her baby, consciously decide not giving power to it.
Which highlights how important your support system is your tribe.
Definitely. But ultimately, even with support, it comes back to tapping into your own power by knowing what you can control and what you just can't.
Yes. Robbins used that great analogy like getting sober. You have to stop drinking to get sober.
Okay.
To get control of your life, you have to stop trying to control everything outside of yourself.
I see. Let go of the external to grasp the internal. That's powerful.
It is, and it changes how you view other people's success too.
Yeah, moving from maybe jealousy or competition
to seeing it as motivation or inspiration. Realizing that other people can never, ever, ever block your way. Only you can block your own way.
So someone else's win doesn't mean your loss.
Not at all. And jealousy itself, they suggest reframing that too, as blocked desire. It's not just a nasty feeling, it's actually a clue. It's pointing towards something that's important to you, something you want.
Okay, so instead of just stewing in it, use it as information, a compass.
Exactly. Use it to guide what you pursue, which is way more productive than seeking validation from others.
The trap of external validation, wanting admiration, wanting love from outside.
Yeah, it leads to feeling empty because you can't control how others see you or feel about you. It's an endless, unwinnable game.
So where does the real power come from?
Internal self-pride. That feeling you get when you are proud of yourself. Robbins says when you're proud of yourself, you don't actually think about other people, meaning their opinions don't hold the same weight.
Right. And interestingly, letting others just be themselves without trying to manage them actually improves your own relationships.
It does. Which brings us to trust and betrayal. Khloe had that story about the therapist.
Oh, yeah, who violated her trust. But weirdly, that led her to find the gym as an outlet.
Right. It highlights a crucial redefinition of trust. Ultimately, it's about trusting yourself.
Trusting yourself to handle things, to make good choices.
Trusting your judgment, trusting you can cope. And using the let them theory here, too, as a boundary.
How does let them apply to trust?
Well, if someone is consistently rude or unreliable or whatever, you let them be that way, in the sense that you don't try to force them to change, but you take note.
Ah, okay. You let their behavior inform you about who they are without needing a big confrontation necessarily.
Exactly. You gather data. And then you trust yourself to decide what kind of relationship you want with that person based on who they've shown themselves to be.
That feels very empowering, choosing where to invest your energy.
It is. And it connects to finding strength in being alone, too. Not lonely, but genuinely content in your own company, which Khloe mentioned feeling.
Yeah. And those past hurts, like betrayal, they can actually build empathy in the long run. Understanding struggle makes you maybe a bit kinder.
Absolutely. So if you look at the whole conversation, there's this constant thread, isn't there?
Yeah, it all comes back to personal agency, personal power. Life throws stuff at you, no doubt.
Always. But our power lies in how we choose to respond, where we put our focus, the decisions we make, big or small.
So the core takeaway really is the power to change, to handle things, it's already inside you. It's about conscious decisions, knowing what's actually yours to control, and shifting that mindset.
And the actionable tools are right there. That 5-second rule to just get started, the let them theory for navigating other people and comparisons, and building that fundamental self-trust.
Okay, so here's the thought to leave you with today. As you go about your day, maybe just notice, where are you giving your power away? Is there any situation where you feel stuck, but maybe, just maybe, you actually have the choice to leave or change your approach? What's one small decision you could make starting right now that might just lead to that different life Mel Robbins talks about?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.